Hey everybody, welcome back to Northernlion Plays The Binding of Isaac Afterbirth Plus. How do we feel? Calm, cool, collected, ready to go. 3 HP, crack the sky, brimstone. It'll do. It'll do. EZZF XJVV. Now, I hate to even bring this up, because I mean, first off, that was a bit of a misplay. We could have gotten 3 cents there if we'd placed ourselves differently. Oh, I don't know. Dude, maybe. I'm starting to realize it's not Slay the Spire that's hiccuping. It's actually my computer that's hiccuping. Like, I'm getting hiccups in Isaac. Hold on. You know what you do in that situation? You go over here and you say Adobe Photoshop. No. Probably should have closed it earlier. Rest assured, I'm already aware of that. Goodbye, old image of Donkey Kong I used. Close down Twitch desktop app. That might make it work. Okay. This run is not actually totally won. It's like 99% won. But it might not be completely sold. And all I mean by that is, at the end of the day, we still do only have 2.61 damage. So we got a little ways to go. Still getting weird hiccups. Oh my god, that's not a weird hiccup. That's just $3 bill being super weird. Hold on, I hate to do the troubleshooting live, but why is my computer so angry at me? It's like every time I walk into a room, I hear this little son of a gun like it's starting to mine Bitcoin or something like that. It's calculating a floating point number to the 1 billionth digit. See, you probably noticed it right there. Lord knows I noticed it. It's very dangerous. Not because... See? What is happening? Not because I actually think that, like, we're gonna die, but I would prefer to not lose focus and be worried about technical stuff for the whole episode. You know, that's what has me worried at this point. So we're gonna take a little moment there. Then we're gonna do something you should never do. And hit Control-Shift-Escape. Open our task manager. I think I see part of the problem here. Why on earth does OBS have 5... I see 2 problems. Why does OBS have 5 instances open? That's a big one. And then alternatively, why is Steam... What are you downloading, Steam? You don't need to... No, that's not necessary, okay? You don't need to be downloading a game right now. Close. In fact... What do you... Give me one moment. I know this seems... My boy, which is me, is taking way too long here. Steam's trying to use my disk space. Stop that. Or my write speed, I should say. Alright, hopefully that'll sort it out, but we're probably due for a reboot after this. Okay. If it doesn't, it doesn't. Here's the thing, you know? You gotta be able to play games during rain delays. You gotta be able to play games when it's snowing outside. That's what we're doing right now. Oh my god. It does also seem to happen every time it calculates like a new tier effect, which is very strange. I am a little worried it'll screw up my dodging, but I mean, if there was ever any run for this to happen on, it's gotta be this bad boy right here. Well, my apologies. We'll just work through it. For now... There's like literally absolutely nothing you could ever complain about. This is probably the easiest start we've had on the entire run. Or on the entire streak, I should say. Starting with Brimstone is just, it's the sort of 10 out of 10 situation that you can't really, oh jeez. You can't really ever complain about for the rest of your life. So let's come in here. It's Widow. Widow's dead. Could have done it a Widow faster, but... Succubus, easy play. We have no desire whatsoever to roll Book of Sin. Very happy to have the Halo, though. Alright. So pretty much, I mean, if you were to look in the items on the right sidebar right now, you would be like, dude, we are absolutely completely set. Every single one of those is golden right now. I was having this problem earlier today. I'm not really soliciting troubleshooting, by the way, for a couple of reasons. One of which, and I'm not trying to dissuade backseating when it's helpful, but one of which is that there's a backlog on Isaac, so hopefully the problem that you're seeing right now will have been solved weeks ago. Or a week ago at the very least. And then the other thing is, I'm pretty sure that the issue is just gonna come down to throwing in a little reboot, or at least a rebooting OBS, which sometimes it just... OBS has got a mind of its own from time to time. It gets up to some shenanigans, let's put it that way. Dude, I mean, first off, use your HP if you got it. Keep it up. Continue to keep it up. Are we going to take Abaddon? That's the only real question here. Taking Guppy, I mean, we're definitely going to take Abaddon now. Because Potato Peeler gives us so much leverage. I still think you take Guppy's head, and you will probably go crack this guy long term. But we at least want to go to... We want to go down to 1 HP here. We have a 4th level and a 2nd level Meat Boy. I think I would rather just be as safe as possible. Grab this right off the bat. We gained a decent chunk of damage there as well. And let's go with Crack This Guy over Guppy's head because it's a little bit more unique. Wouldn't you say? I think so. But we do have a Guppy item, which means that we can go to our curse room to try to become Guppy, and we'll be good to go. I mean, like, literally good to go, I assume. One of the very, very easiest runs we've had so far, bar none. And I feel, what did I say like last run or 2 runs ago? When you get an easy one, don't complain, for God's sakes. Just accept the fact that you've been given a golden gift. Succubus is already doing amazing damage in and of itself. Anyway, how's my day going? It's good. We did like an extra long NLSS today because we played the Binding of Isaac 4 Souls. It went on way too long. Oh, I think Meat Boy kicked it. It went on way too long, but was simultaneously very fun. I had a good time. I still think 4 Souls is a very, very good game.
Something's wrong.
Need some clarification on the rules, but that's on our end. You know what it is? It's 2nd level Meat Boy kicking the bombs. I am a fool. I don't think we need anything there. I will go to the curse room real quick. But apart from that, I mean, that's pretty much my day. You know, if you ask me on any given day, what are you up to? You know? I got a very simple routine to the week. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Lots of streaming, lots of videos. Friday, lots of videos. Saturday, day off. Sunday, lots of streaming, lots of... I mean, it's work, you know? It's a good thing, don't get me wrong. I wish I had better anecdotes, but we're all skied out. What I will say... I don't know how deep I went into the anecdote hole, which I should probably not call it, just because it sounds a little vulgar, but... you know, I'm a good driver, I think. I know everybody thinks they're a good driver. I think I have a reasonable appreciation of my own skills, though. Like, I think I'm worse than average at a lot of things. You know, I've been going to the gym. Am I an average gym goer? Oh, absolutely not. Below average, no doubt about it. I think I try to take... D1's kind of interesting, but I think for now we're happier with Crack the Sky. I try to take, you know, objective appraisal of my own skills and abilities, is what I'm trying to say. In terms of driving, I think I'm an acceptable driver. But it's difficult, you know, it's hard to gauge your own skills when it comes to this sort of stuff that's close to the bone. Like, I remember reading a poll. I think there was like one done in America and one done in Sweden. They had slightly different but similar results, where it was like, you know, what percentage of people that they polled consider themselves an above average driver. It was literally like, in Sweden it was like 75% consider themselves above average, and in America it's like you know, 90%. But simultaneously, I was thinking, and I'm pivoting off of a bit that I was going to do instead of this to do this bit. Do you think that's just true for driving? Or do you think that's true for other stuff as well? Like, let me give you an example, is maybe close to the bone for some people. What if you asked people... I'm going to give you 2 examples to illustrate my point, I guess. What if you asked people, are you above average or below average at math? My null hypothesis, which is not actually a null hypothesis, but allow me to misuse the phrase and contribute to scientific ignorance nonetheless, is that more people than 50% would consider themselves below average in math. I think people are more likely to underestimate their own mathematics skills than to overestimate that. And there's 2 reasons for that. One is, I think we've been taught that math is hard, and that there's people that are doing math that is incomprehensible to the average person. You know, obviously to do this study, you'd have to define what is math and all that, but that's not really the crux of the conversation. I think more than 50% of people would say they're below average at math. Or, average or below, which I guess would literally make it, like, mathematically true, ironically enough. Looks like I had to put myself in that 50% or lower. But then, what if you asked people to rate their own physical attractiveness? Which is subjective, I wouldn't disagree. Do you think most people would rate themselves more physically attractive than average? Or, less physically attractive than average? My personal belief, I believe that most people would rate themselves as being, more physically attractive than average. Except for the real uggos out there. I'm just joking, okay? Don't be sensitive about it. I mean, I don't know. I want to believe that... And it's not a bad thing, by the way, to just, you know, haha, they think they're above average in attractiveness when actually they're slightly below. You know, it doesn't matter if you're right or wrong in this situation. I guess it's just how people, like to see themselves, I guess. I think the same is true for wealth, for sure. I think if you, I think this is a totally acceptable tiny planet. Now I'm giving you all of my, my hunches and prejudices. I think if you asked, like, 2 groups of people, one group of people were, like, at the median income, and one group of people were at the average income. One group of people were in the top, like, 1% of earners, and one group of people were in the, you know, the middle, median. I bet that the more people than you would expect in the top 1% of earners would describe themselves as average earners. But now I'm just spinning my wheels here. I think we want blank card. We don't need any more damage. So this is strength, right? Yeah. Let's hold the hermit card so we can get out of boss rush. And I think we're good to go. It's just how people see themselves, I guess, is what I'm trying to pull from this. What's the overall lesson to be learned? There isn't one. I'm just spitballing. But I'll tell you, the crux or the catalyst for this conversation is my own perception of myself. Like, before I started working out, it's only been like a week and a half, but before I started working out, I was like, dude, I'm in like average shape. I might even be in slightly above average shape. That was the perspective of somebody who was not working out. Now that I'm working out, I'm like, dude, I am in horrible shape. Now that I've actually... Is this the Dunning-Kruger effect? Is that what that is? Where, like, the less you know about something, the less you are able to realize how bad you are at something? You see it, and, I mean, I'm still... Everybody is somebody else's Dunning-Kruger, I'm imagining. Because, like, I could still be in that Dunning-Kruger zone for programming, but I also see that from people who are, like, learning to program, and they're at, like, you know, a relatively basic level. Not to be insulting, but just to, again, be an objective appraisal. But, you know, people will, like, and it's very common, they'll, like, learn a little bit of code, and then they'll be like, it's all just if-else. Why don't I, like, You'll be like, hey, I'm trying to figure out how to approach this problem. And then they'll say, like, well, isn't it just a series of if-else statements? Well, yeah. I mean, like, yes, literally. I think we're willing to do this right now, because check this out. We're going to have to fight one wave of bosses if we don't have Krampus in order to make it happen. I'm willing to do that. But, you know, there's more nuanced questions than that as well. You know, it's not like you're going to... Bill Gates is like, I wonder how I should implement this system. And you're like, well, have you considered using a for loop? And you, my God! You know what? We don't need the Hermit card. Just take me out of here. Making some real boneheaded plays this run. Very happy that we have kind of offense that we have here. You know, he's like, well, I was thinking more like, you know, what library should we use at the C level in order to, you know, turn the machine code into blah? You get the idea. I don't even know what I'm talking about here is the thing. Excuse me, why are you not dead? I think occasionally we're getting proptosis from $3 bill, and it's just screwing everything up, man. I'm willing to give you a little chance here. It's the Dunning-Kruger effect as well. For all of this. Dude, I think we definitely want to keep this up. Especially with Gimpy here. Like, before you start, it's probably like a good example would also be, well, working out is a pretty good example, you know? And I might not have been wrong, by the way. I might have been in average shape. But once you start to learn a little bit more about the nuance, you're like, oh my God, I'm like so far behind relative to where I was so far behind, I didn't even know I was behind. I thought I was like right on the level. It's like, you ever show up for school and you've been like working on this project for a while? I've got a great example of this. I finally feel like I've hit my my stride commentarily. It's because my brain keeps getting interrupted by these like micro pauses. Not in, you know, neuron firing, but in like the actual game itself. Yeah, like this. You ever like, you've been working on a project for a while at school, maybe you haven't told anybody about it though, you know, you got the assignment, but everybody's just been working on their own. You come in and you're like, it's a volcano. Then like, you know, Hillary comes in, not Hillary Clinton. This is just a name I picked off the top of my head and is totally not based on the girl who won every academic award at my middle school. She comes in and she's like, oh, cool volcano. I made a fully functional geyser that actually gets geothermal power from the Earth itself. And no, my dad, who works as a geothermal engineer, definitely didn't help me out with this anyway. You know, and all of a sudden you realize you're a piece of garbage. And, you know, here comes another... I'm not willing to do it. It's just fun, but it's slightly too risky. You know, you're a piece of garbage. You know, you were probably going to get an A- earlier, but now Hillary's come in and blown out the curve. All of a sudden, she's getting an A+. Everybody else's next highest mark is a C. I would love to get HP so that I could get the Eye of Belial, but we'll talk about that, you know, if it happens. I like this gate. Come on, come on, come on. He's not done it, but that's okay. That's what it's like, you know? Like, I'm never more confident in my own physical strength than when I'm alone in the gym. And I'm like, yeah! You know, come on, dig deep, give me that lift. And it's like a 10-pound bicep curl. And then I could be doing, like, you know, a deadlift or something like that. But if I'm in the gym with anybody else, inevitably, it's going to be some guy that looks like Arnold Schwarzenegger. He's going to be like, you know, doing 800-pound squats. He's going to be like, hey, bro, can you squat me? And I'm like, wait, can you spot me? Not. The answer is no to both. One for my physical safety and one for your physical safety. No, I can neither squat nor spot you, okay? It's like, you are overestimating my abilities greatly, my friend. And we are friends now, make no mistake. If you squat your boy, you're friends now. Best friends. You might even be married in some parts of the world. I don't make the rules, okay? That's up to Hillary. No, she's not a politician. I think she works in, I don't know, some kind of medical field now. That's what you do when you win the academic awards in high school, you know? You either there's like two paths, okay? Well, I mean, I can give you a little where are they now, at least for my high school. I don't know about at my university, but, you know, of the people that were like really academically successful at my high school, one of them is a YouTuber. No, I did not go to high school with PewDiePie. I was making a joke about myself. But, you know, they're not all tragedies. Another one, you know, went into the Canadian military and has risen to the rank of, like, you know, Rear Admiral or something. I don't know the ranks, all right? I just know when you start, you're a private, and then if you get to the top, you're like a 5-star general or something like that. He's closer to the general side, but, you know, with boats. And I mean, you might be saying, where's the rest? That's all of them, dude. I went to a high school that had a graduating class of literally 88 people. Everybody knew everybody. I don't know where everybody is now. I don't know if this is true for, you know, the world, or if it's true for Canada, or if it's true for my generation, or what. Oh, man, I wish I hadn't popped this in hindsight. At least for now. But at least, like, I would say probably like a quarter of my graduating class have become teachers in their own right. And I've been trying to run the numbers on this. And I don't mean this in a negative way. You know, I've talked a lot about how I respect teaching as a profession. It takes a lot of work. You don't get as much respect as you deserve, and you certainly don't get as much pay as I feel you deserve either. But I've been, like, in my head, and, you know, as mentioned earlier, I'm a little below average at mathematics. But, man, I'm a looker. And I can squat, like, more than you would ever believe. Anyway, hold on. Get Judgment out here. Because the Emperor card is so useful for us. And I'm like, okay. So, on average, you know, if you got a class size of 20 people, and I might be wrong here, so please correct me if I am. I think we do want to take this temporarily. I mean, we're steamrolling, but, I mean, what do you expect with this run, right? You got a class size of 20 people. That means for every class, for every 20 people, to put it in other words, you need to produce one more teacher so that you can replenish the supply, right? I'm telling you, my high school, probably just in my graduating class alone, produced like 20 teachers. I don't understand. I always have heard about, you know, when you're younger, you hear about, at least up here, you know, if you want to become a teacher, first, you know, when you graduate teachers college, you have like two options. You can either move to, without being offensive, what people would describe as a less desirable part of the country, maybe with some not so nice weather, or you can go to whatever county you want, enroll as a substitute, and then work your way up. And, you know, your goal is to eventually get on the rotation, get called as a substitute all the time, and then you get an actual, like, permanent teaching job, and you get the idea. It's hard, but, like, I never really understood why. I was just like, oh, that kind of sucks. They should make that easier. Well, there's just a lot of people that want to become teachers. When I was in high school, there were only, like, 3 different jobs that people wanted. It was, like, musician, not like rock musician, basically, or teacher or doctor. And it was entirely determined by, like, your GPA. If your GPA was, you know, let's say 2.5 or under, you were like, I want to be the bassist for a punk band. And that's the coolest job out of all 3. No offense meant to the other people here. If your GPA was between, like, you know, 2.5 and 3.5, you were like, I want to be a teacher. And if your GPA was between, like, 3.5 and 4, you were like, I'm going to be a doctor. Now, how many doctors did my high school graduating class produce? I have no idea. Because some people very rudely played a trick, you know, and they didn't do so well in high school, and then in university they got their act together, and I had to completely reevaluate their future prospects as a result. Very selfish of them. Okay. So, I'm very excited that we appear to be coming close to the end of this run. if I'm being honest with you, I have played like absolute garbage, and I'm happy the run is coming to its conclusion soon, so that I can reboot my computer and come back stronger next time. Because this one has been a little wonky. We're gonna hold it together, but I don't want this to be win 40. And moreover, it wouldn't be fair to like lose the streak because of this mistake, or because of this technical issue, and then, you know, it wouldn't feel right, let's put it that way. Dude, I will absolutely take Polyphemus, and let's pop the Joker real quick. Since we can fly, I do think it's fine to take the Pact, and then we will blank card immediately. Yo, that's pretty good. You know what? I owe you one more room. And it is what it is. That was fine. Anyway, this is a weird, like, lost episode. I'm gonna reboot my computer and interrupt all the Bitcoin mining that's probably being done clandestinely under my nose by malware that was installed when I tried to download a music video from YouTube. For now, thanks for watching. Hope you guys have enjoyed the episode. If you did, click the like button. Helps out a great deal. Of course, subscribe if you want to see more in the future. For now, thanks for watching, and I will see you next time. Of course, follow me on twitch.tv/Northernlion to be notified when I go live in the future. For now, thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. See ya!